Welcome, everyone, and welcome listeners around the world to the Something Show with your host, Reed Keeper. In today's episode, we are going to be going over something very, very special, and that is the archetypal lens applied to The Walking Dead. Yes, that is right, the smash hit AMC show, 10-season banger, The Walking Dead. We're going to be going over that. We're going to be discussing and applying the archetypal lens to some major characters in that show. So let's get right into it. So basically, what is the archetypal lens, you might be asking? Well, I'm going to lay that out for you right now. So this is a quote from literarydevices.net. It says, quote, "The collective unconscious includes archetypes. Archetypes are human images or specific concepts that humans instinctively respond to and understand. Also," quote, "Carl Jung conceived of something called the collective unconscious. The theory says that there are archaic universal images and concepts that all humans instinctively recognize." And from realrundown.net, they say, quote, "These experiences exist in the subconscious of every individual and are recreated in literary works or in other forms of art, and these are the only ways that these subconscious experiences can be displayed." Now, basically, what this is saying is the archetypal lens helps us understand our characters' personalities and motives, and it basically just overall helps us better understand where the story might take our characters in the future, and it helps us understand the story far better and those characters. Now, of course, the most recognizable archetype is the hero, and the hero in The Walking Dead would, of course, be Rick Grimes. Rick's ideals about protecting the weak, democratic forms of government, and saving human life all make him the hero. One major example of his heroic efforts was in Season 5, Episode 9, No Way Out, in which the town of Alexandria, in which him and the group were staying in, was being taken over by walkers. His new lover, Jesse, and her son were killed by the invading zombies. His son, Carl, was shot by a bullet to the eye, and in the midst of all this chaos where the group, it looks like they're going to go down with the horde, Rick makes it stand by himself against the horde of zombies, and his efforts inspire the rest of the group to keep fighting, and they eventually were able to defeat the thousands of invading walkers due to Rick's heroics. Because of many instances like this, he perfectly fits this hero archetype. Now, for the villain, there's many villains in The Walking Dead that I can think of, but I believe that the greatest of those is the governor. Now, according to literarydevices.net, the villain is defined by, quote, "a character whose main function is to go to any extent to oppose the hero or whom the hero must annihilate in order to bring justice." Now, some examples of these are when the governor destroyed the group's home, the prison. He killed Rick's mentor, Hershel, and as well as annihilating his entire military force for failing to capture the prison on the first attempt. Behind him, he leads the path of destruction and death, and he is obviously the perfect fit for the villain archetype. Now, last but not least, the mentor, and the definition of the mentor by Grand Valley State University is, quote, "a teacher or trainer who aids the hero by teaching and protecting them. The mentor motivates the hero to overcome their fears and also prepares them for the journey." And so basically what this means is the mentor is providing guidance and helps shape the hero's character development. And as I stated before, I believe that mentor is Hershel. He is the one that fits this the best, because when he first meets Rick on the farm, Rick is only thinking about surviving by any means necessary. He's really only thinking about himself and his son and his wife, of course, and he doesn't really think about the rest of the group as important. He's very self-centered, but Hershel, he convinces Rick, and he shows Rick that in order to survive, Rick must care for others, not just the ones in his inner circle, but the ones around in the entire group. And he teaches Rick that in order to survive, he must care for others and try to form a community and create some sense of how the world used to be with these people. And so these are just some of the many archetypal characters featured in The Walking Dead. These are the best examples to show how studying this lens can help further us in our insight on the characters and the story that is being told. And basically, Rick as the hero, the governor as the villain, Hershel as the mentor. These are really the best character insights that you can look at and the easiest to understand. And by studying these characters through the archetypal lens, it helps us develop the story and be able to understand it far more than what we would if we had not looked at it through this way. So thank you for listening, viewers around the world. This has been The Something Show with your host, Reed Keeper. Good night, everyone. Ciao.